Hashem. Okay, we'll be continuing talking about the Western culture and the Torah. I think it's a very important subject because we're into a frame in our life of the Western culture, or maybe we're not aware enough of the difference with that culture and what the Torah is saying. So we'll explain some things, Bezrat Hashem. America is not a new idea at all. America started already with Korach, with Parshat Korach, where he said that everybody is equal. From Korach, it started after that the Greek culture, and then the Roman culture, and all that culture reincarnated into the French Revolution, and from the French Revolution, it reincarnated into our times, which is called America and Western culture. And there's many, many indications to it. You see that USA, like we said last time, is exactly the words of Esav. Esav is exactly the words USA. And also, if you look, you'll see that the eagle was passed on, the symbol of the eagle was passed on from the Greeks to the Romans. And America today, the symbol is the eagle. So it's the same thing, only reincarnations of the same cultures that are coming back. Let's take some of the ideas of the Western culture and see if they agree with the Torah. Number one thing that this culture says is that everybody is equal. Now I know it sounds beautiful. Everybody is equal. It maybe doesn't create jealousy between people. People are not in competition. He is exactly equal to me. I come from one part of the country, and he comes from another part, and the culture is different, but he's equal to me. So it sounds like an amazing idea. And that idea always grabbed people, because it sounds very nice. But let's see if that idea works. Let's say in our culture, let's say in an economic way, is everybody equal? If everybody is equal, so let's go to communism. Communism, the idea is that everybody works and everybody gets paid the same thing, and they just share with each other, and then really everybody is equal. But we saw that communism didn't work and it flopped. Why? Such a beautiful idea, why does it flop? We go to the States where that sentence comes on again, but we see in reality not everybody is equal. See people, there you have a president of a bank who makes billions, millions of dollars. You see a secretary that makes a couple of $1,000s a month. We see hierarchies, doctors that are honored, whereas somebody else who's a garbage cleaner is not so honored like the doctor, politicians. So you see, not everybody is equal. It's just a nice motto to say it, but in reality, it's not. Let's see what the Torah says. The Torah says that everybody is equal in one aspect. What? Everybody has the choice equally to choose between good or bad. In that way, everybody is equal. Yeah, that's for sure. But there is supposed to be a hierarchy in the Torah. For example, if we say that everybody is equal, so there's disregard to a person who is wicked and a person who is righteous, one who is choosing all the time to be on the good side and the other one is trying to destroy, are they equal? They're not equal. Of course they're not equal. What that sentence did, let me show you again in Sotah. It says before Mashiach comes, chutzpah yisgeh. There's going to be a lot of rudeness, like we see. Young people really don't have no respect to elder people. Elder people have respect to the young people. They do all kinds of things with their hair, trying to look young, trying to copy the young people, which is something that is amazing. That never happened like that. That never happened. It says here, Na'arim pnei zkenim yalbinu. The new generation is going to shame the old generation. You're primitive, you're not in, you don't know fashion, you're out. Zkenim ya'amdu mipnei ktanim. Elder people are going to have respect to the new generation. Ben melavel av, son is rude to his father, has no respect for his father. Bat kama bi'ima, daughter has no respect to her mother. Kala bechamota, bride against her mother-in-law. Ben menavel av, badarga, oivei ish anfshe beito. It goes to such a point that the families, the enemies of a person, chas v'shalom, it shouldn't happen, but that's what it says here. The enemies of the person are inside this family. And we see it today. We see the amount of divorces that are going on, 70, 80%. If you have a couple that's not divorced, it's like a wonder. You see many, many arguments between the families. The uncle doesn't talk to the daughter doesn't talk to her father. Why is all this happening? Because everybody is equal. What does it mean? It means that my father has the same status as me. There's no difference between me and my father. He can be like a friend. I have nothing to respect him because he's like me. Everybody's equal. Grandmother, maybe even chas v'shalom rabbis, maybe somebody who's very learned. There's no hierarchy anymore, spiritually. What happens when there's no hierarchies? Society falls down. Because if there's no respect, then also there's no boundaries. And if there's no boundaries, there is chaos. So that's why we go to a point that it says here before Mashiach, that's going to be the problems in our generation. We see it. A person came to this world to correct himself. The only correction he can do is through the Torah. The Torah that was given by Hashem, Yitbarach. Of course, if he listens to the Torah, and he should, and he learns Torah, he corrects himself, and he becomes a better person. Till becomes a learned person, becomes a rabbi. A person like that, I have to respect. He's higher than somebody who's not learning. He's closer to Hashem. If he's closer to Hashem, he's older than me, I have to listen to what he says, because I can learn from him. My father, same thing. He brought me to this world. I have to give him thanks for what he did for me in my life. He's older than me. He can teach me a lot of things. I have to respect him, and so on and so on. And if there is no respect, because everybody is equal, then there's no hierarchy and everything falls down. But Hashem gave us all the same choice. We all have the choice to become better people. And Hashem looks at our efforts. How much effort do we put in order to be better people? And not everybody is equal. There's people that come from a very low place, like Asiyah. There's 4 worlds: Asiyah, Yetzirah, Bri'ah, Yetzirah. There's people that come from the first level, that they're still working to overcome their bodily desires. They have a very hard time with that. Eating and, money, and all the time just looking at their body desires. A person like that, who goes into the Torah and starts working on himself, he can change his route. From coming from a lower place, he can take himself and bring himself up to a higher place. Completely change himself. He can hire himself up. He can be from a crook, Chas v'Shalom, who was wicked completely. He can be a rabbi who is very, very righteous person. And we have examples like that with Resh Lakish in the Gemara. The Gemara has a lot of examples like that. Because the Torah is the only place where a person can become better and change from a lower place to a higher place. Sefer HaGilgulim, the book of reincarnation that was written by Marhu, says that the person can take himself up from a low place to a high place. How does HaKadosh Baruch Hu judge us? According to our efforts. It's not like in university where a person is very smart and it's easy for him to get 9, a grade of 9. In the real world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at each person's efforts. How much effort are you putting to become closer to me? How much effort are you putting in learning Torah? The harder it is, the more credit the person gets. So if a person comes from a lower place and he overcomes a lot of things that he has to overcome, bodily desires and all that, and starts learning Torah, starts to behave in the way to the Torah that Hashem wants him to behave, goes up and up and up, he can get much higher upstairs in the Olam Haba, in the next world. He can be in a very, very high place where a person who is very, very holy, who came to this world, he reincarnated himself and he became very holy here. And he's got already the brains to become a genius in the Torah and all that. His efforts are lower than the one that came from a lower place. Who will be in a higher hierarchy in the Olam Haba? The one who put the effort in. That means that the person who is in a lower place, who did a lot of effort to go up, where a person was up to begin with, didn't do a lot of effort to go higher, the one that's lower will be more considered than the one that's higher. That's equality. Because everybody has the choice, the equal choice, to become better, no matter where you come from, no matter what your culture is, no matter where your neshama is from. That's one thing. So that's one aspect of the American culture or Western culture that we have to know, to overcome, to understand, to respect. Respect people that are higher than me. Respect that when there is respect, there is a family. When there is respect, there is rabbis. When there is respect, there is a society. Each one respects the other one, but not according to their professions. No. According to their spiritual being. How good are you? How much are you trying to be closer to Hashem? That's where the respect has to come in. That's one thing. That's why that nice saying, everybody's equal, doesn't work. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is about man and woman. That's a subject that's very misunderstood. And that's why also there's a lot of women that are unhappy. And they're all the time in the streets screaming liberal women, liberal rights and all that. And the men are also not happy about how the women are behaving with them. Why is all this happening? I'll explain a little bit of what the Torah says about man and woman. A man is a completely different being than a woman. That's what the Torah says. What a man thinks, what he feels, his whole mental framework, his whole spiritual being, has nothing to do with the woman. Woman has another world to her own. Her feelings, her thoughts. What she needs spiritually is different completely from a man, from what the man needs. So, I will see also this physically. Yeah? What is female? What is male? In the Kabbalah, there is supposed to be an interaction between a person who gives and a person who receives. The whole world works on that interaction. That's why you have poor people, you have rich people. Rich people, their purpose is to give to the poor people. They are the givers. The poor people are the receivers of charity or whatever. In electricity, there's a proton and electron. There's always a force that's receiving, a force that's giving. The force that's giving is the male. The force that's receiving is the female. That, if you look in nature, you see in the world, that's the way it is all over the place. In spiritual ways, in physical ways. Wherever you look, there's always the giver and the receiver. The sun, which is the male in the Kabbalah, gives to the moon. So she's the receiver. That's why the sun is always compared to the male, and the moon is always compared to the female. And that's the way Hashem created the world. If we try to go against these rules of what Hashem created, then confusion and chaos comes in. And I'll explain. For example, what does a woman need from a man? I asked this to a lot of people. They have no answer. Many of them say she needs the visa to go to the shopping. But that doesn't mean that she will love him because he gives her the visa. Maybe for 1 second or 2 minutes she'll do it. That's not the answer for that. What does a woman spiritually need from the man? And on the other hand, also I'll ask, what does a woman need from a man? If we have the answer to that, then we can have a beautiful relationship. But if we don't know what a woman needs and what a man needs, how can we live together? So I'll tell you what the Torah says, what the Kadosh Baruch Hu says. In Masechet Kiddushin, in the Gemara, Mishnah there, it says like this: woman needs attention. If she doesn't get attention from her man, she is like a dead person, like a person that is here alive, but she's dead inside. I'll explain how that works in life. A woman, because she is born, she was created from the bone, she is more gvura. Gvura, she's more judgment, more fire. And because she's more fire, she likes to, everything that she does is into very little details. She loves details because she's from that world, from the gvura world, from the judgment side. A man is chesed. Chesed is the giver. He likes the big picture. He doesn't like details. He likes to, we're going this, he talks about, what's the bottom line? Tell me the bottom line, leave me alone, with all the details. Let me go home, finished. Woman is exactly different. How do we bridge between the two? Because a man is made out of 51% of him is male, and 49% of him is female, and exactly the same thing for the woman. She is 51% almost female, 49% male, because there's supposed to be also interaction of giving or receiving between ourselves also. That's why I can go into my female side, which is the giver side, the receiver side, and understand my wife. Even many times it will be hard. I'll have to change my behavior and my thoughts, but I have to have a bridge with her. I have to get to her and to make her happy. For example, let's do an actual exercise. Person comes to the house. Hi, darling, good morning, how you doing? What's there to eat? That's like the first question. The woman looks, what's there to eat? Tell me, what did you do today? Where did you go? What did you see? What happened with that guy? What happened with this guy? Did you go to the office? What happened? No, leave it alone. What did you do? What's the food? Did you make meat today? Spaghetti? That kills her completely. Why? Because the details are missing. A man is not communicating with her and giving her her spiritual needs. She has a spiritual need to know that you love her and you're giving her everything that she needs to know. So, let's say that a man knows that fact. He goes into the house. Hi, how you doing? He says to her, before she says to her, where I was today? Where was I today? No, where were you? I was in the restaurant. I went with Steve. We had a great meal. We learned from each other. The sun was amazing, but it was so hot. We had coffee, and then we went here, we went there. Before he says anything. No food, no nothing. No baseball, no football, no nothing. Just filling her detailed needs. I was here, I went there, I did it. When she hears that, she says to herself, oh, he loves me. He's giving me my attention, he's giving attention to me. He knows that I need these details to know what he did or whatever. 10 minutes of that makes the day. The whole day. Why? Because she received her spiritual need. Many, many times we see that the woman is angry at the man without any reason. He comes home, she's angry. He doesn't have no idea why she's angry. What did I do, he says. He didn't give her spiritual needs. And she's screaming. She's screaming because she says, give me what I need. You're not giving me what I need. I need light. I need spiritual. What happens when a person learns Torah? Because the woman is exemplified as to the moon, she receives all her light from the man. If the man learns Torah, the Kabbalah says that if he is in the synagogue and he learns Torah, he fulfills her with light while she's at home. And she's happy because they are together in everything that he does. Man and woman is one. Now, when he learns Torah, the light of the Torah goes to her, and she's 50-50 with him, and she's fulfilled. Not only that, all his family is fulfilled. The kids, everybody, when he learns Torah. So that's why, when a man learns Torah, I'm talking about real Torah, not learning for any interest. Learning because Hashem said to learn, I'm pleasing Hashem. He comes home, he's got a different life, completely different. His wife respects him. His wife, but even that he learns Torah, he needs to learn about the woman. And he learns in the Torah, there's a whole Gemarot about how to behave with a woman, what is a woman. It's something that should be learned by everybody, because it's something that's very, very important. It will save a lot of marriages. On the other side, I'll ask the woman, what does a man need? What are the spiritual needs of the man? I think I'm going overboard. I'll just give it in 2 sentences. A man needs respect. One thing. Second thing, he needs good food. That's what the Torah says. He always says, oh, my mother used to cook like that. My mother. Your mother, go to his mother and see what he loves, what he wants to eat. Because food gives him a lot of fulfillment to the man. Respect, he needs a lot of respect, the man. In the Torah it says that you should be a hanav, you should be humble, shouldn't be chasing respect. But the woman has to know, to give respect doesn't mean that she has to bow down to him. Because he's the king and she's the queen, right? She has a very big status. But when she wants to say something that's against what he's saying, she has to choose her words in a way that won't put him down. The same thing, of course, the man to the woman. But I'm saying here, the man is more touchy even. Here, the man is more touchy. Here, the woman has to go roundabout ways and not put him down and give him what he needs, the respect that he needs. I'll talk about it more, Bezrat Hashem, because the time is going fast. And Bezrat Hashem, we should all have wonderful families and wonderful relationships. Tודה רבה.